We shed Willem and Tina. We're on to some new stuff. We just got Mitch, Julian, Kirkman, and some crazy blue water. It's a little snotty today, but that viz is beautiful. So that was pretty sick. Brand new wreck on the bank. Never seen it before. No fish, but I can tell there's gonna be fish some other time. Took a quick little video so you guys can see it, but I love checking out all these new spots. I hate hitting the same thing over and over again. All right, guys, so here's our first drop of the video. Looks like there's a school of mangrove snappers swimming around, and I pick out one or two nice ones. I make the drop on it, and as this fish starts to squirm away, take a shot. Boom. A little bit high in the back. Oh, but look at that. Still got the fish. Looks good. Sizing it out with my fingers. Healthy. Brand new spot, 50 foot of water. Nice little bag, dude. There was a bunch of them down there. I mean, no push on that. I mean, this is solid 7-8 pound bag. Stoked on them. All right, and on this drop, I see a nice king mackerel swimming out on the edge of the reef over the sand. Normally I try to intercept them because if you try to chase it down, you're never gonna catch up. In this case, I start to get close, but right as I shoot, so does Mitch. I didn't see him and he didn't see me. It's a pretty dangerous situation, so we're lucky we ended up okay. Shortly after that, Kirkman started making a drop on what looks like a really nice grouper. As he gets closer to the fish, it gets a little skittish and starts to swim away. Luckily for us, we kept it in our eyesight and we were able to chase it into this hole. I start shining a light on the fish just to get orientation to see which direction his head might be. As soon as I know which direction he's facing, I start pointing and showing with my hand so everyone above me can see what direction that fish might be.
All right, Kirkman, here's your layup, buddy. He's facing that way. Put the shot as far forward towards his head as you can. You're gonna see his tail when you go down there. You don't even need the light to see it, dude. You got it. 55 to the bottom. It's an easy dive for you. You're gonna plug him. Once you put it in him, push it further, and then pull it out. And then leave him. There's lionfish in there, okay? So don't stick your hand in there.
In the top right, you have the GoPro footage from Kirkman's forehead, and in the main screen, you have my view, third-person view. As Kirkman makes the drop, you can see he's looking in the hole. There's not many places for him to miss, but he really wants to make sure that shot is as close to the head as possible. There it is, connect, boom. Polespears shakes, lots of cloudy dust. Kirkman heads to the surface. I'm pretty jacked up. I know for a fact that this is the beginning to the end for this fish. I make a drop just because I want to secure the fish. Having a second shot in a fish like this guarantees that we'll end up landing it. Every once in a while, when you make that first shot, that slip tip may not make it all the way through, and the last thing you want is an injured fish. This lobster pops out. Boom. Bonus lobster as I'm fighting with this fish. I'll take that all day. As I'm swimming to the surface, I do a quick little check. Yep, no eggs. Good to go. We ended up making quite a few drops on this fish, and most of the time we couldn't even get the fish to budge. So I had an idea. I looked through the other side, and unfortunately where the grouper's face should be, he had started pushing out the lionfish. It's time for us to shoot it in the front of the hole and disconnect from the back. So we're running the split screen again. Top right is Kirkman's view, main screen is my view. I told Kirkman, you might as well just try to shoot this thing right in its mouth. He uses the flashlight, he lines up. Yep, that's the signal. When you try to pull out and it doesn't pull out and the pole spear itself shakes, you know you got a good shot. I rush over to the other side. Eventually, I get the pigtail swivels in sight, and now it's time to go to work. One of the things about the design on the Neritic Polespears that's so beneficial is how easy it is to take these slip tips off. In just a few seconds, I'm able to disconnect both Polespears, and you can see here, it's just a handful of spins. 1, 2, 3, and it's off. Boom. Both Polespears are completely removed, and now all we have to do is pull the fish out from the same direction that it's facing. We finally had the attention of a shark or two, but they weren't all juiced up, so I find this to be a pretty safe situation. I dive down with Kirkman anyways, just because I want to be there in case he needs me or needs help pulling it out. And right as he starts to pull the fish, it does what I thought it would do. It swims out, he gets it in his hands, and then he just bear hugs that fish. I'm looking around to make sure there's no sharks that are interested, but he gives me the thumbs up. So we thought, because a few seconds later, boom, fish starts swimming away. I grab the pole spear leash and I'm able to keep its head out of the hole. You can see as the grouper tries to dig in, I was able to keep it from getting back in that hole and becoming a tangled mess. And I start swimming to the surface with Kirkman's fish.
So Kirkman, finally on the last day, got his big black.
Woo! Get your cold cuts. 3. Hiya!
Jesus Christ.
That hole, huh?
Woo. That was gotta be a fish. We shot him where?
I think he needs one more shot in him.
Just sat there, breathed up for a second, dropped down, looked in the cave, and all
Found
I
yourself?
could see
What'd you find?
huge body. So I just put the spear in what I thought was the middle of him.
Woo!
And let it fly. We put another one in him and then spent 30 minutes trying to get him out of that cave.
Yeah.
Literally, while we were wrestling with Kirkman's fish, another grouper came out and started looking at us. We wanted to see if we could get that fish too. Mitch hopped in, took one shot, boom, got this fish as well. We're gonna leave this spot alone. We got plenty.
We also got this going on right now. Got him.
Oh!
Shot another fish in that hole.
This hunt in particular is one of my favorite. We have a mutton that's swimming off into the distance, so I start swimming at the fish, but looking away. That didn't work. So I keep swimming towards it, and I look away again. Boom. Turns around, swims right to me. I get a great shot in the gill plate. Honestly, shooting mutton is one of my favorite fish just because of the hunt. I don't really love the way they taste, but everyone else does, so
That was a cool
give all
hunt.
that fish away.
He came right back in and looked at me.
Yeah, man, that mutton revenge. Perfect shot, too.
Woo!
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Now, this fish is one of my favorite to eat. Yellowmouth grouper. They're not very big, but wow, they taste good. In my opinion, this is the best tasting fish in all of the Bahamas.
Woo! Beautiful fish. Yellowmouth. Definitely not 10 pounds, but that's so cool. So this is what looks like a really small grouper, but this is actually a nice sized yellowmouth. You can't really tell too much because the color's kind of gone when I killed it, but they get really nice yellow coloration right here in the mouth. And then when they get a little bit bigger, they get sort of that same type of fantail that you get with scamp grouper or broomtails. But this is actually one of the best eating grouper in the entire Bahamas, so I'm stoked. This is sick. Oh yeah, today is a good day. Today we we're actually putting on nice fish. Every spot we're actually turning down fish. I just got a mutton and a yellowmouth on this spot. It's actually a brand new spot that I found on Google Earth, and it's awesome. We have one more that's right next to it. Go check that too. But so far we've hit 3 new spots. All 3 new spots have produced. All 3 spots are spots I found on Google Earth. So start looking, start finding your own spots.
So Kirkman's making a drop on this rock hind. A lot of people let them be, but personally, I like them. They're good for little fillets, perfect little grouper sandwich bites, and they're really easy. It's a great fish to get people's confidence going.
That's actually a big rock hide. Yeah, I like the way they taste.
I start chasing down this mutton. Unfortunately, it wanted nothing to do with me, so I pull back and I don't pursue the fish any longer. Here you can see Kirkman wrestling with a Nassau grouper. There's a shark off in the distance, but it's not acting crazy. Kirkman's able to safely bring that fish up. Looks like the sharks are getting a little bit more crazy now, so I call for the boat. It doesn't make sense for us to stick around. Even if they're not going to come bite us, we're probably not going to land very many fish, so it's time for us to get out of there.
Get in the water very quietly. There's 2 buttons. Dude, there's buttons and blacks everywhere. Hey, bring me a Polespear, bring me a Polespear. Yo, these guys are just watching buttons. I don't understand what's happening.
Eventually, I started to make a drop. You can see the Nassau in that bottom left corner, the blacks swimming away from me. The muttons were everywhere. For whatever reason, though, none of these fish were letting us get close at all. They know what the deal is. They've seen divers before. So eventually, I start to settle for some mangroves. I line up on this fish, and as I take the shot, it's just a little too high. You can see I hit the fish. It takes off. I throw up my hand in disgust. I can't believe I missed that shot. That was way too easy to miss, but it happens. Surely as I find this fish, I'm not going to miss this time. And it's really easy to see this fish because he's got that big white mark at the top of his head. A couple of his buddies are following around. They're asking him what's wrong. He's got a big old gash on his forehead. I line up on this fish for the second time. For sure I'll get it this time, right? Nope. Miss again. I stay down. He's not going very far. The magnetic slip tip makes it very easy to put the slip tip right back on while on the same dive. I reach back. I load the pole spear. 3rd time's a charm, right? He's not even moving. Boom. Got him. 3rd time's a charm. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Honestly though, if you hit a fish and you don't kill it, you really should do your best to track it down and finish the fish off. Otherwise, you killed the fish for no reason. I always like to brain my fish and bleed them. The meat quality is definitely better when you're able to brain and bleed your fish, especially when you do it quickly in the water. This dive is actually a really cool dive, especially for Kirkman. You can see he's turning on his GoPro. He knows he's about to kill this Nassau grouper. So he loads up and points and misses. The Nassau makes a very, very bad mistake by staying around. Again, the magnetic slip tip, easy to put right back on. While on the same dive, Kirkman reaches back, loads the spear again. Now we're from Kirkman's angle. And you can see that Nassau stuck around a little too long. Boom. Smoked him. Typically at this point, you would assume Kirkman's been down for a while. He missed. He just shot. He'll go up to the surface, right? Instead, Kirkman sits there and wrestles with that fish. This ended up being a little over a 1.5-minute dive at 50, 60 foot. So great dive.
Dive.
Dylan said, put me a coach. Dylan dove for 2 days. I've been out because I've got this thing on my elbow. It finally started healing, so I went in today. And of course, today was the banger day. Dylan's like, man, I got stuck driving. What the f? But we have what we think might be a 50-pound black grouper. We don't know. We're going to weigh it. Kirkman got a 50-pound black. Julian has maybe a 20-pound red grouper. I have no idea what the world record red grouper is, so we didn't gut it or anything. We just want to see what that looks like, because I can't imagine that people are shooting 20+ pound red groupers on Polespear. It could be. We have some nice mangs. We have 2 more blacks in there, a Yellowmouth, some mutton. I mean, today was the best day we've had so far on the all the trips. And that's even better than the day that we got the world record dog snapper. So today has been the best day.
What is this?
It's a Nassau.
Nassau?
It's a big Nassau.
It's a big Nassau.
All right.
Here. Yeah.
Looks good.
All right. Mitch got it. Thank you for not making me have to get back in the wetsuit,
Last one
Mitch.
is what did it. That was tough.
That was tough. That was difficult. All right, now we're going home.
Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. And if you like the voiceovers, make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know if you hated the voiceovers so we can stop wasting our time with it. Appreciate it, guys.